You're not staying on.
I am always.
She always stays on.
Always.
All right, let's go. John. I said your whole name, your government name.
Weird.
John. I meant Jan. Jan, Jake, and your friendly neighborhood lesbians. We're back again. Let's do this thing. We have a lot to uncover this go round.
Discuss.
So let's go. Jan, you were just in, what was it, Manchester? Did I hear that right? I'm starting to understand you guys when you have conversations together. I really am.
I can't hear anything again. Fuck's sake. I was like,
oh, God, of course.
This was fine.
Are your headphones? Are your head? Right, I'll deal with it.
Yeah, I'm gone. Okay.
Yeah, so he was in Manchester. Were you into not early Eminem, but like his earlier albums?
Yeah, for sure. I grew up.
Do you remember a skit he did in between a couple of tracks, and he's saying Manchester, and he's going Manchester like that?
No, but that's awesome.
I can't remember the album, but there's this little skit, and whenever I hear someone say Manchester from the US, it makes me think of the Eminem skit. But never mind.
Oh, did we say it wrong?
No.
I don't have the accent.
We were listening, and I want to bring this on screen real quick. We were listening to this on the way to lunch the other day. I probably shouldn't say lunch. And this is your new podcast, which I'm totally excited about. It's fire. I've listened to all the episodes, and the last one, this one,
right? Oh yeah,
amazing with Heidi.
Yes,
with Heidi, it was absolutely amazing. I probably haven't had that much fun and gained that much information in a long time on a podcast. Like
in an hour.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, like it's so. I knew Heidi did jiu-jitsu, and she's been doing it a while, but it's kind of like a running joke with me and her, saying that I could wipe the floor with her or anything, and especially jiu-jitsu, even though she's approaching a purple belt. And then so we were talking, and I said, well, do you want to just explain to me about jiu-jitsu?
It was great.
Yeah, and I learned a lot, and I want to learn more. Like I love that. Like my kids do it, so I sit watching like 2 hours a week. But yeah, she's awesome, and she knows her stuff, and she's a very experienced fighter. So yeah, it was awesome. And Jon was currently occupied at the time, so he couldn't join in. But Jon knows jiu-jitsu anyway.
No, it was really cool, and I think the best part about it was how you're trying to make the difference between like CrossFit and holding on to your level ones, and also like when you get your belts, you hold on to your belts. Yeah, I thought that was a good comparison you were trying to make. I also like the pushback that you got on it because I was literally talking to you guys, and I think that's the measure. Like I was literally talking to you guys while you were talking to each other. Like I was talking to you in the car. I was like, no. That's not how. Like it was really fun. It was a good time.
Good.
So
yeah. Excellent. Well, that's good to hear. It's just it's a thought that I've had for a while, and I just think we talk about professionalizing CrossFit athletes, but we don't really talk about professionalizing CrossFit coaches. And if we're gonna widen the base of the pyramid, we need better people at the gym level. We need better coaches. So how do we do that? We can't just have L1, L2, L3, L4 and have a 5-year gap in there and just pass an exam. For me, it's continued learning. And that's just what we were talking about, really, and trying to link it in. But yeah, that was all.
Heidi, here we go. No, girl, I was on your side. I literally was on your side. I thought it was great. It was an awesome show. You should definitely. It was amazing. You should talk about it. It's cool, especially from I don't want to go, but a female's point of view. How liberal are you? But it was really good, and you were on by yourself for a hot minute. I don't know how you did that either. I would third show in, I wouldn't have had the balls to to go on by myself for the third show in.
Oh, well. Yeah, I talk to myself a lot.
It,
So it's fine. It was just normal.
Natural.
I missed my little Yoni, but he was occupied. He was busy, as we found out, for about probably 10 words.
yeah. Yeah, poor Jan.
Jan
tried so hard.
There was like that venue was absolute ram packed. It was an absolute shambles. So there was like no signal. Even though I had 5G, it was just there was nothing. Yeah.
Well, and did you really want to talk after doing that? Like after completing that, did you really have that many words to say?
No, I didn't even want to be around anyone yesterday. I wasn't very good company yesterday. I was in a bad mood most of the day. But I was with some friend anyway, so I only had to entertain. Well, he entertained me for the rest of the day, to be fair. Yeah, and then we were stuck in the car for most of it.
So I want to get into this real quick before we start getting into everything else. The chat this weekend for Wodapalooza. Fucking amazing.
Any of it. So Jake can take this.
So okay, we all know what happened with the broadcast, right? Whatever, right? So Colleen and I put it on the big screen in our house and put the live chat up, and we were just like, okay, we're gonna listen to Bill and Chase because obviously we're big supporters of them, and the chat, and literally the entire chat was the Sevon verse, and
brutal.
It was amazing.
Brutal.
I didn't care about the cameras. I didn't care about anything else. All I wanted to do was read the chat. I have no idea what anybody did in any workout. No idea.
No.
But I know what happened in the chat, and it was fire. And shout out to Judy Reed's husband, D Reed, because his first one about going to Starbucks to, like, I don't know, like they were trying to find the Starbucks Wi-Fi. That was it. I was hooked. After that, I was in the chat the entire time.
I don't think we actually watched the event because we had the chat like on the side of the screen. So you're kind of missing, you can't really see the whole screen anyways. And we'll be quiet for a second. I'm like reading the chat, and then she'll say exactly what I was reading in the chat. And so we were just having conversations about that, but it was brutal.
It was so much fun. So then you would watch the live stream Waza chat. Oh, and I also want to say, I threw the Waza live stream on today and tried to throw up the chat, and Sevon and Spin were on live at the same time, and there was no fucking chat.
No.
There was no chat in the Waza at all. There was nothing happening. Every minute someone would say something, but there was no, I was like, well, turn this off, because that was why I was there.
Yeah.
It's
awesome.
It was absolutely incredible. Were you guys, did you see it?
I didn't watch any of the event, and I wasn't in any of the chat.
You got it. The first 2 days, you got it. Chris Beasterfield for sure. It's always about the chat. Yeah.
And that's the gold standard of engagement.
Yeah.
I think what it is over the last few years, that chat in Sevon's sort of podcast has there's this like core group of about 20 people that there could be 5 or 6 of them on the chat at any one point. And it's just going to get a little bit heated. And then Kevin Delap's always there saying like and subscribe. And then Jeremy comes in and says something about someone. And then Ken will come in and say, hey guys. And then someone will pretend that Ken can't read Ken's comments. And then from there, there'll be a snippet of what the guest is talking about. And then it's as if we've taken one little thing and then we go off and we just chat shit for an hour while Sevon's interviewing someone. And then we come back in at the end and then we just talk to someone. It's like this sub room of like just discussion. And I was going to ask you guys,
because even and the chat that's in here now, I'll ask you guys too. Do you guys, while you're chatting on a live, are you guys talking to each other offline at the same time?
Sometimes,
And the thing is, so like Jon and Heidi will be, and as an example, it might be me or whoever. we will go away and we will like talk, and then we'll come back in and have a right epi at each other in the chat, and then we'll go back and like just talk normally in the other thing. And then people go on the main chat and go, "Oh, you're being really horrible," and it's like, yeah.
I know Heidi's had people message her and ask like why I don't like her.
Yeah.
Oh, really? And you guys are like, well, in the beginning, I didn't know.
I don't like her, but like they could just start saying it.
But that's half the fun. That's half the. We literally go in there purely like half the time. I don't have a clue what the chat like what's going on the actual show, and the game stuff, the competition stuff. I rarely know who's in which heat, what the workout is, anything like that. All I go there for, I pull up the chat in the like as a side thing on my computer, and I don't even watch the YouTube. I'm just there talking to people in the chat, just trying to cause as much havoc as I can.
Is that how it's always been
during a football game? Really, guys? Yo, sorry, dude. It's the thing.
I'll quite often watch the Savannah on mute while I'm doing stuff with my son, but I'll just be in the chat.
You're not even listening, but you're answering the chat.
Not with a guest's on. I'll mute the guest and then I'll come back in at the end.
Do you guys listen more when it's just Savon? Like if he's on a solo show, do you guys listen more, or does it depend on like what his rants are?
Yeah, it depends who the guest is.
No, like by himself when he's on solo.
Oh yeah,
all I'm doing, I just poke the bear as much as I can when he's on his own, and I try and get him to like say how shit the UK is, and most of the time it works. It's good. I like it.
Let me ask you this. I have to ask this question. There was I feel like Barry McCockiner and there was a couple others. What the Bryson joke that he made? Did you guys see that? Did you hear about that?
I didn't see it. I heard it in the chat.
So it was a offing yourself joke. Whatever about
Haley Adams.
Yeah. And God, the question is, are there jokes that are off limits? That would be my question to you. Are there jokes that are off limits? And I think that was the conversation that was happening in the chat that I feel like I absolutely.
For me personally, it's all context. There's nothing that can't be funny in the right context. It's all context.
And in the right setting. I think it's very different a comedian standing on stage making jokes to like just someone having a conversation and saying something really, really fucking offensive and then being like, oh, I meant it as a joke. Do you know what I mean? Like,
so we know comedians are making jokes, so we allow some grace for comedians to make any type of jokes, because we've heard, I mean, what was that show that Savon did that it was an Uplift WOD? Is that who it was? Uplift WOD show. They sponsored a Kill Taylor, and the whole show was just like, hey, if you feel like offing yourself, go. And it was nobody said shit about that. You know what I mean? So is it that we know Haley Adams, we followed Haley Adams, and
I'm not offended by it, but again,
I think the people that were most emotional about it were, because even when I saw it, I was like, it is one of those jokes is like, ooh, but then you still keep watching. For me, it wasn't like Bryson is, I'm done with Bryson. Like, it was just like, I wouldn't have done it, but okay. Like,
I mean, like you said, the stand-up thing, obviously stand-up's an art and it's a caricature. It's like watching The Godfather and blaming Al Pacino for murdering someone. That it's a character they're playing on stage. They're not actually believing what they're saying. So, but however, through text, context is king here. And I think what goes with it. So if you say a joke and it doesn't land well, it's on you. you didn't get it right delivery wise. So it's on you that it didn't deliver well. The wrong audience, wrong crowd, whatever. It's on you.
Heidi said it best. It's not that the joke was off limits, it's the delivery and his general demeanor.
And his immaturity. Okay. And Heidi, and I'll ask you this too, because you're a mom.
This one too.
Oh,
that's the one that Jan read. Yep.
Okay. It's not.
Oh, sorry, babe.
Yeah. It's not that a joke was off limits. It's his delivery and general demeanor. Okay. So that's what I mean. So most of us that were like, we're parents, right? Or you're like men that are parents. It's women that have kids, and it's men that also have kids. It's the parents, but also I think it's because we know her. But then I'd ask the question too: if he made that joke about Greta, the girl that's the environmentalist from the UK, if we had made,
she's like, she's like Swedish.
Same thing.
Sorry, my bad.
Same thing.
My fault. But if he had made that joke about her, would we have been that?
Which chat was this in, by the way? Was it on the Savon show or in the Wodapalooza chat?
Wodapalooza.
No, it started.
It was. Yeah.
It started in the Savon one when he did a recap show, and then it continued on into Waza.
Okay. So all I would say is that if I heard someone say a really shitty joke that was ill-timed or not great context, not great audience, that's all I would say to them. I would probably say didn't quite get the audience right, a wrong crowd or something. But I wouldn't like necessarily demonize them, or if it was clearly a joke, like if it's something like that, I wouldn't have thought he actually means it. Like, because didn't he say something about like her offing herself or something, like she needs to, or she
that
should,
was the joke because she sang the national anthem,
right?
Which I was impressed by, because who has the balls to do that? I'm not going out there. Whitney Houston sang the national anthem. I'm not even going to try at that point.
She's like there.
Yeah. And she went out there and sang the national anthem, and then that was the joke. Like, how long till she, you know, because of it,
right? Because
it wasn't. I don't know. Whatever.
Okay.
But
was it that bad that she needs to off herself?
Is that what he was saying?
Is that what he was implying?
Right.
He was that bad a thing of it.
Okay. So, I mean,
only joking.
It's one of those where it's kind of like it's crude, and I think just on the verge of just too obvious. It doesn't quite match. It's just a bad joke. And he clearly doesn't want her to do it, but it's just a really bad context joke, I guess. But yeah, I wasn't there, so I'd imagine all the hype and all the reaction, and again, people's sensitivity towards subjects. You know, people.
That's what I was going to ask you guys. Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, people that are affected by that.
Yeah,
because I mean,
more highly offended than someone that's not.
Yeah, and you know, coming into the chat, and I think it was Trish that said it, like coming into Savon's chat at first is like, whoa, like what am I getting myself into? And like you said, you guys have that core 20 of you guys that know each other.
No, it's like core 60,
80. I mean,
like
whatever it is, you guys have been with him from the beginning, and then you have even tighter knit group that you guys all were the originals, like the smaller group, and you guys have kind of grown together, know how to fight with each other, know how to battle each other, know how to pick at each other, but laugh at each other at the same time. And I would assume that even if there was time that it was tension and it might have gotten personal, that you guys are able to like talk about it, move on from it, or decide that like, I'm still gonna poke the bear in the chat because I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You know, and really have that thick skin to just kind of let it be what it's gonna be.
Do you know it's sort of like a virtual affiliate. It's it's like we've got this group of people that have built up over 4 years with CrossFit Central, but all parts of their lives are coming in and fucking bringing to the table what they do. you don't necessarily have to enjoy the person's company, but you understand that they're in there, they enjoy CrossFit, they're there for the same reason as you, they love Savon's attitude and his way of dealing with it, but they bring different shit to it. It's kind of like a virtual affiliate, and every so often someone's going to do something that you just think, what in the fuck are you doing? But then the next day you're mature enough to say, do you know what, all right, sweep it under the carpet, done. Unless it's Grant, and then you just hold it against him forever.
Jeffrey Birchfield, those of us in the chat who have hung out or engaged via video chat get each other's humor because we can actually see the person is saying it. Yeah, I get that. I get it. He threw it in the chat and people were like, oh, but I mean.
So I guess to go back to her original question, is there
anything
that's completely off limits?
Not for me. I think as soon as you start putting a barrier, you then can start reeling it in from there. See what I mean? Like there has to be no limit, because offense is taken, not given, you know? So you will always have those things that just get to you. But that's egotistical to think that just because it offends you, that other people they're not allowed to find it funny. And again, it's just context. It's just pure context.
I like this. Trish, maybe it's not offensive. Maybe it's just not funny.
Exactly.
Right. And you're going to, I don't know. I just feel like cancel culture is over, and like, you can have your opinions on it. Sure. That's the joke that he made is not a joke that I would make.
Yeah.
And when he put it up there, I was like, whoo, you know, like there were a couple of jokes in the liberal chat for Savon this morning that they were like, whoo, what? Oh, like it was like, yeah, but it was good, but it, you know what I mean? Like, so I get that. And
okay.
I think any comedian, I think comedians should be able to make whatever jokes they want. Also, too, though, it's kind of, for me, the same thing. Like, you can say the N-word if you want to, but the consequences of saying it
exactly
afterwards, you have to be ready for.
Yeah. You've got to be able to discern when and why and how you say certain things. Like free speech, freedom of speech is absolutely critical. However, you have to be able to deal with the consequences of freedom of speech.
Yeah.
Because it's all context.
Yeah. Marco Calderon. This morning got dark. The one that I saw that I was like, because it was liberal jokes, right? You're so liberal, whatever. It was fucking funny.
Why did he caught the end of that?
You only caught the end of it? Did you?
Yeah, I joined at the last like 10 minutes.
The real Matthew said some shit like, you're so liberal, you blame it was something about the water and Lazar. I forget it. He typed it out and it was like, it was another one that it was like,
yeah,
you're not wrong, but but it was good. Like it was.
I get what you mean.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It was tough, but it was
bad taste.
Like I wouldn't say it, but I'm not mad at you for it. Like,
Kenneth shared it. I won't pull it up. It's in the comments though.
Oh yeah, no, that was I mean, yeah. No, I just.
But I wouldn't have typed that out personally and posted it. It is making me laugh.
Do you know the amount of fucking times I'm in that chat and I have typed something out and I have to take a long thing and think, no, not now, and delete. it must be 5 or 6 times every chat. There's just something, but some of them I write down and I'll note, and then I bring them out in another chat sometimes. So. And the other thing that we have to remember is that we're like 5 or 6 hours ahead. So right now it is, what is it, 11 p.m. coming up? Yeah, it's 11 p.m. So we're going to bed. So we're in that like fruity mood where we'll say whatever the fuck we want. Whereas you guys might be like sitting down for lunch. And it's like, you have to remember that time difference. It's like we're typing away, like, you know, and Savannah's, it's like 7 a.m. and we're like having.
We're all awake and caffeinated. Like everybody's had caffeine ready to go. Yeah. Fair. That's fair.
Yeah. I'm in a bad mood by the time Savannah starts.
You're like, I'm ready to go, crack the knuckles and just ready to fucking go because you're mad.
Yeah. It's good. It's all fun.
All right. Yeah.
Did you start to have those moments where you kind of check yourself before you put something in the chat recently? Or like, were you more free when you first started? You were like, I don't fucking know these people. I'm here just to stir the pot. Or have you always kind of had that? Let me think about that before I actually send it.
Personally, I've always been the same. Like I will always be me. Doesn't matter what context it's in. If I think something's funny or worth saying, I will just sort of say it, even if I'm brand new. Like I'll walk in a new room and I'll be able to talk to people exactly as I am to you guys now, and then to my wife's the same. Doesn't matter who the group is. I'll just say it how I feel. Right. Obviously, there's certain things that I won't say.
Right.
But,
yeah. But, do you send? Will you think of something, message Jan and be like, "Hey, I want to say this," and get like feedback?
Yeah.
You've never done that? Yeah.
Well, there's sometimes I will message him and PK and say, just so you know, I wanted
this
to
is
say
what we
this.
do that, yeah.
I wanted to say this, but I haven't. But I need someone to know what I was thinking about this, and I'll just send it to them.
Screenshot where it was going to be inserted. Yeah, we do
that. You just needed to know, or you needed somebody to know that this is what you really wanted to say.
Yeah. And it's like, I just need to get it out. Like, here you go.
All right, I'm gonna read this. Trish, you might be my last little bit of liberation. So I'm gonna read this because I don't want to, but I'm going to anyway. You're so liberal. You're a dumb faggot. Not funny, just edgy. You're so liberal. Your wife's husband drives a Prius. Funny, nuance.
The first joke made me laugh more than the second.
Is it? Yeah, Jody Lynn, I see you. Sevon's chat was edgy from day one. That's why we were all still there. Yeah, like you know what's gonna happen. It's not hidden. I just think for me now, words that used to get a rise out of me now don't. It just doesn't bother me anymore. It's just like whatever. Like people are gonna.
How long has that been like changing? Like how long would you say it's been since you've decided on that?
Pretty much.
Probably this podcast.
No. It was a little bit after the Floyd 19 joke.
That's when you started.
Yeah, it's when I started being like, what is up? And then maybe 6 or 7 months later, I was like, yeah, no, this is stupid. And then I started looking into everything and just being like, no, I don't agree with any of this. And it's okay that I don't, and I don't have to be pressured into it.
Right.
So
for me, probably within like the last year.
Yeah.
Probably the last year. Yeah. It's taken me a long time to get here.
Is that was that a conscious effort? Was it something that just kind of evolved over time, or was it like you sat down and actually thought, right, this is what I'm going to start processing it? And did it take a while once you decided, or was it just an instant bang change?
For me,
go ahead, babe.
I was going to say, for me, it kind of happened. I've been watching a lot of people's podcasts, Savon's obviously, and then I had been Ben Shapiro. There was just a lot of there was a lot of lesbians on my news feed too that were conservative. All of us, like it was just like there was a bunch of us that were just being like, "What is this? What do you mean a man's a woman? What do you mean blah blah blah?" And then I think I just kind of for me. It was definitely. I know liberals want to say like it doesn't matter, the trans thing doesn't matter, but for me that mattered. And that's when I kind of started like, whoa.
Cool.
No, for me it's taken longer. But I got to a point where I worked with somebody. She wasn't a therapist, but essentially a therapist. Like I had a lot of shit that I needed to work through, and I still work through it. But I would say that I worked with her for about 6 months. And so that was really the start of it. And I did that about 2 years ago. And then ever since then, I've gotten to the point where not everybody's delivery is great. Sometimes people like they drop names, it's more aggressive, it's more like it's a lot. But if I'm going to be able to listen and try to really listen to the root of what they're trying to say and get the context of what they're saying, then I've really worked on getting past like the name calling and the nastiness and the aggressiveness that people are saying, to be like, okay, so what's actually the point? And some people, there is no point. It is, I'm just going to name call, I'm going to be aggressive, I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that. But now I'm able to like see the difference and pick out the difference, because for a very long time it was difficult for me to even listen to Sevan. I was like, God, his delivery is awful. He's just too much. But now I'm like, okay, what is he actually trying to say? And now that I actually take that time to listen to what he's trying to say, now we can look at each other and I can be like, that was a little tough, but I can still listen to the rest of what he's saying. So I'm still in process of that. And I think that every day gets a little bit better. But my trajectory of where I was and the type of person that I was to who I am now, like, was a very long journey.
Right. Okay.
It wasn't something that just happened overnight.
Right.
Were you guys always pretty? Hey, I wanted to ask you this question too. I've been, Sevan's been talking about a lot about it. I've started to read up on it and seen it. That thing that's happening in the UK with, the Pakistani. Did you guys know about that for a long time and we just caught up now?
Yeah, basically. I would kind of it obviously not, well, maybe as severe, but imagine if 9/11 happened when it did.
Imagine we just started talking about it.
And then 20 years later, we said, oh my God, have you seen those Arab guys that start flying planes into your buildings? And you're like, well, we've known about this for 20 years and we're dealing with it and that kind of thing. And we had laws passed and we've done this and we've done that. And it's still, the legacy's still there, but it's been dealt with and they're keeping on top of it. And the government of, there's inquiries and stuff. But since Musk got onto it and then Trump got onto it and all of a sudden the media have gone boom.
Yeah. All
of the media that has existed in 20 years about it is all condensed down to a week in the news.
Okay.
So it's like a bloody Scooby-Doo sandwich and they've gone down to like this thing. Right. And then everyone goes, oh my God, it's a big deal. And it's like, it is. I get it. And we do get it, but it's so localized. It's like 3 cities in the UK. And it obviously the numbers are big, but the numbers are over 25 years. Some of them longer, 30 years. It's been historically dealt with, but then you look now and there's data and statistics that aren't quite making the pages of the media that are big. The numbers of representation, I know it's a horrible thing to talk about here, clearly, but the number of the representation of different ethnic groups in rape cases, Pakistani men are now underrepresented in the rape convictions, whereas white males are overrepresented per population. So it's a bigger deal that white men are doing it. But historically, there was this kind of thing about these Pakistani rape gangs that was a big deal and it was combated and dealt with. But like I said, it's been condensed and now it's big in the media. And now they're forcing the media and forcing the government to uproot it again and talk about it again and deal with it again. And it could be a good thing. It's always a good thing to get to the bottom of that shit if it's still going on. But the numbers are nowhere near what people, because it's over 30 years worth. And it's just one of those things that I think if you trust the media now, after
I was curious about it.
I'd
heard so many things, and then I watched some UK media, And it was like, yeah, okay, that's great. Like, we've known about it. It's, you know what I mean? And so that's when I was just like, okay, we couldn't have just found out about it.
No.
And then it's like, oh, we did just find out about it. Like, it wasn't in the.
It's not significant enough. It's not of a big deal for you guys. It's a nothing. It's like us finding out something in Mozambique. It's like, well, it doesn't really matter. But what I am liking is the fact that Elon's getting involved with our politics, because hopefully he can do what he's done for you guys.
Yeah. Daddy Trump, baby. Trumpito. He's coming in. Let's go.
Yeah. Don the man.
Are you guys are more conservative UK people, are they excited that Trump got elected? I don't think I've ever asked you that.
We got rid of our conservative government last year. They went literally last year, and we've got the lefties in now that aren't traditionally lefties. It's done I can't remember the name. There's a political term for when the parties do a shift from right to left wing.
Yeah.
Someone or Trish might know. But the Tory party were like, the Labour Party were the working class party.
There you go.
They were the Reds. That my granddad was a fucking miner. He was a miner once, but he was a miner. Served in the tanks in Egypt in World War II. He was working class as hell from Manchester, where Jon's just been. He was Labour, and he would never change. Any talk of the dirty Tories, the posh guys with all the money, they were like scum. And now they did a complete flip. Labour have become the people that people joke about as being the ones that are like the opposite scale side of it. But they got voted in because everyone was sick of what the Tories had done over COVID.
Yeah.
So they just wanted out. But now Labour got in and they've started doing shit that people really, really don't like. So now that Trump's come in, this policy is sort of waved across. Even the thought of Trump coming in, you think of like foreign affairs in the globe over the last 6 months, it's changed. I've got a Jewish client, PT. I see her 3 times a week. She's from Tel Aviv. She's got family that still live there. Her nephews are both serving in the Israeli army, in the IDF. They've been in Gaza for the last over a year. She's been scared shitless about her family and bombings and the Iron Dome not working for since it happened, since the recent invasion happened. In the last 2 weeks, she's had her first nights of sleep, whole nights of sleep because of what's happened. And the only reason for that you can put a pin in and go, that's why, is the thought of Trump coming in.
Okay.
And it's not necessarily him it is him as a person, but it's not, it's what he stands for. And that fuck it attitude.
The culture wave.
That's like coming across, you know?
Yeah. It's the culture shift.
Yeah.
I think that's it for everybody. Is just, there's a culture shift happening. And it's like, hey man, you did too much. That's it. Like, you just did too much.
I think that's what it seems. Yeah, that's what it seems like, is that when either side, because, you know, what I heard you say is that even for the right, for you guys, people were like, you guys are going too right. Like, you're going too far. So then what happened usually, and that's kind of where my pessimistic self right now, I guess, with Trump getting into office, is that, and all the conservatives and everything going red and Republican and whatever, that it's going to go from the extreme on the left that it was, and then it's going to completely flip over to the extreme on the right. King James.
The thing is, we have experienced let's class us as Europe for now. We're not, but let's class us as Europe. We've experienced actual real life fascism and Nazism, which is actual right wing. We've experienced left wing politics at the far end of left wing. Look at socialism and Marxism. It's all been here, and communism. So within our little landlock of Europe, we've had both ends of that spectrum. And over the last 60, 70 years, what's happened is all the countries and governments are trying to be not one or the other. But what ends up happening is human nature. You end up pushing from one to the other, and eventually you end up ideally somewhere in the middle, which I think could potentially happen. But I guess I don't know enough about your history, like politically, about how it's all worked and how far you guys have gone and that kind of thing.
That's fine. We can get into hog talk now. I just there was a couple of questions I really, really wanted to ask you because you guys are from across the pond. So I really wanted to know. And then also, again, the chat this weekend was so fire. Thank you for getting me through Wodapalooza. That was amazing.
Well, I actually would like to start hog talk tonight, if that's cool with you guys.
Absolutely.
So Valentine's Day is coming up. First of all, do you guys celebrate? And if you do celebrate, do you do like something big, something small? Like, do you guys celebrate Valentine's
They do
Day?
something big.
Like slightly above average.
Slightly above. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So when it comes to Valentine's Day and usually holidays here, companies start to make things in the holiday colors. So Christmas, everything is red and green, everything's festive. And that happens here with Valentine's Day as well. Do businesses where you guys are kind of do the same thing? Like everything is in red and pink and white for Valentine's Day?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So one
There you go.
company,
We've already got like Easter stuff in the supermarkets.
right? And we haven't even gotten to Valentine's Day yet, but we've got Easter and we still have some Halloween that's been left over and some Christmas like over in the sales section. Okay. So this particular company has chosen to get ready for Valentine's Day. And I would like your opinion if this company succeeded in their product for Valentine's Day or if it was a fail. We ready? All right. Here we go.
They have won.
I would eat that.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
I love Reese's Pieces. They're amazing.
That is
the caption above where I got this picture was like, I'm not sure if Reese's really didn't think that men were going to turn this heart upside down and it wasn't going to look like balls.
Yeah.
And I probably wouldn't have noticed unless somebody did that.
Oh no. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a
like,
win.
oh, it's a cute heart.
That's a win.
Yeah, they win.
That's a really smooth sock.
Yeah. That's sort of like, how a 21-year-old sort of feels. Is Ken still in the chat?
Probably not. There's
football on. I told Ken earlier because when I came on, I love you. Bye. When I came on, Ken said he was leaving, so I put in the chat earlier as a comment that Ken wanks on all fours.
Man, serious game tonight. My kid is probably going to start running in here at like
to tell us,
what the score is.
What game is it?
The Eagles. I'm sure there's no way that the Eagles didn't win. They were winning when we came in here, but does it have a creamy center? I'm not gonna eat it to find out. Like,
no, Jan answered correctly. It has a nutty center.
Oh, there you
go. But what game is it? Is it like
shit? 54-23 Eagles. Damn. I'm not salty at all. But the next I am very salty. Pause. The next game is Chiefs and Bills. So the New York Bills. So we're gonna watch that.
What is this? It's like a certain stage of like the NFL. Like...
Whoever wins these two games goes to the Super Bowl. Pretty much.
Right. Before we go to the next thing, before I got home last night, Haley phoned me to say that she was taking Adam to A&E, accident emergency, obviously, and he's got this foam stuff that he plays with. It's like has your kid got kinetic sand or anything like that?
Yes.
Well, it's kind of the
sensory
same,
stuff.
So it's sensory toys, but kind of the same thing. But they're really like they're tiny little foam balls, and you can like pull it apart, and you can like make all sorts of stuff with. But he's obviously been getting the balls, and I don't know why, but he obviously got them in his ear, but instead of like asking to get them out, he'd obviously pushed them in, and then his ear was
Mm.
sore. So Haley was looking in and could see that he had these foam balls in his ear. So she phoned me and I says, "Oh, I'll need to go. Probably need to get his ear syringed." So she takes him to A&E, and she said they actually used a suction thing, like, you know, a suction wand to get them out of his ear. So I was saying to him today, "Oh, you were at the hospital?" Because I got home today. I was like, "You were at the hospital last night?" And he was telling me, "Yeah." And I says, "What happened?" And he said that the nurse soaked his balls. And I was like, "No, don't say that."
Were you so proud?
I used to laugh, and Haley, because Haley was like, "Oh, she sucked them." And I was like, "What did she suck?" She was like, "The balls." And I was like, "No, don't say that." I was like, "With the wand, though, with the wand in your ear." He's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh, God." Yeah,
Amazing. Amazing.
tremendous.
That is awesome.
Barry is
And
streaking around
innocent.
his neighborhood. What?
He'll
Is
be
Barry a
delighted
fan
with-
of-
Barry McCockiner?
Yeah, you'll be delighted with the football score.
Oh, right. Okay. Well,
Um,
so is Bruce Wayne right now. He's probably in my DMs right now telling me
Talking shit.
Okay.
Talking shit.
So where are these clubs from? So Eagles, where are they from?
They're from Pennsylvania. I probably should like them because I did love how Pennsylvania came out for Trumpito. But
Right.
I just have a long-standing. I'm a Giants fan, so I have a long-standing Eagles
Oh.
Dallas hatred.
This is a good one too.
Oh.
You guys like this one?
Hold on, I gotta pull up Yawn.
Okay,
Pause.
Hold on. But I'm gonna share the one that I sent to you.
Oh shit.
So hold on. I have to go back. Hold on.
I believe Jake's been sending you stuff this week as well.
Yeah,
Ready?
I have like. Oh yeah.
Can you send me that? I want to send that.
Okay, baby, shut it off.
But wait, you
Brilliant.
have to tell them the best part. So our son,
Oh,
when I
God.
was showing her, G comes over and he's like, "That is so cute. That is so cute."
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's innocence.
So he didn't read the
Brilliant.
top.
No,
But he's
obviously.
been, then he goes around the rest of the night. He's like, blah, 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 blah.
Oh no.
Kenneth
That's
Lack,
brilliant.
trace the alphabet. That's not a real thing. That is
No.
not. That's not a real thing. Ever.
I remember hearing that when I was like 13.
Yeah, that does not work.
Oh, that was a question that I think we were talking about, babe. Like, it's not a thing. You guys never learned how
No,
you were supposed to do the alphabet. Like,
no, it's we've established that the alphabet is out. Like no one's doing any alphabet except reading.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Probably tried it once or twice and it didn't work. So
no, it doesn't work at all.
No,
I
no.
definitely tried it multiple times. And it doesn't work. Oh, Ken Walters. Oh, it works.
Oh,
Yeah,
like
but
having
Ken does
someone writing the alphabet.
Ken
on your
does it on
vagina, Ken.
assholes. It might work on them.
Oh my God! Stop it.
see, I can't be on these shows because I get super red and I just laugh the whole time.
I've had
Whew.
this was a great how much do you have to experiment?
Oh,
until
wait, he's explained how it works.
you have to do it in cursive. Kids
Got
today
big
don't know how to
articles.
do cursive.
We don't.
No.
When did you know that you were good at it? Was it only with your wife or did you have girlfriends that you knew that you were good at it?
Way before.
Oh,
Yeah.
fair.
So I met my wife at like 20. What have I been? 25.
Yeah,
So
sure.
I'd had a long time before I met her. But yeah, it's just one of those things. You either enjoy it or you don't. I think if you enjoy it, it helps. Is there? All right. No,
Is
you
there?
excluded. Let's say you're not included in this. Do you know of any lesbians that don't enjoy doing it?
Yes.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
or receiving it.
Yeah, or receiving it. Yeah.
Receiving it. What do they do then? Surely it's limited to options.
Hands.
Hands or toys.
Yeah, hands or toys.
Ah, okay.
But if there's a lot of I'm not included in this, but there's a lot of butch lesbians in there that don't want their girlfriend to go down on them because it makes them feel feminine.
Oh,
You know what I
okay.
mean? Like they want that masculine feeling of being in charge of it. And so they
Yeah. Do you
They're
think
just ruining it.
so? Here's the difference between men and women. Do you think there's any gay men that don't like their partner going down on them?
No.
No.
Even gay men. Like there's no
Yeah.
man, there's no I don't think there's any man on the world that doesn't
No.
enjoy their partner. Right.
No.
Yeah, I know. We have weird I don't
We
know.
were having an argument with Heidi the other day about sexuality between the sexes. So we were talking from a heterosexual perspective, that men are very visual and women are more
Mental.
kind of, I can't remember the word she used.
Emotional.
Science. And she was saying that the boom in pornography has like made men numbed to when they see a woman. And I said, well, by that logic, you've had books and fantasy for like hundreds of years, so we're just catching up now.
Yeah.
And we went on this whole like journey together talking about it.
Sorry, I switched it back. I don't know what layout we were just on, but I have switched it back. Desensitized by porn. Yeah, we talked.
That's a big question.
I don't know how true that is. I think it's desensitized to certain things. Like hierarchically, there was like things that were taboo, maybe, that aren't anymore. But if you put a 16-year-old lad in front of a naked, well, all right, how old is your age of consent? Right, 20-year-old in front of a 20-year-old girl, he's definitely not going to be desensitized to wanting to do something. I don't know what that means. Desensitized. Is it to certain things, or is it to?
Well, I would think that if the porn that they're watching, for instance, is an aggressive fantasy of what they like.
Hold on.
Then, all right, hold on.
Yes,
Our
sir.
child just walked in. Hold on.
So the game of the NFC championship.
What?
And the Eagles beat the Commanders.
I know.
55 to 23.
Yeah,
Gotta get ready for the next game.
Papa
right?
Birch told us. Yeah, we know.
Yeah.
It's
AFC
yeah.
winner will face the Eagles.
All right.
Yeah, let's
All
go.
So move on to the Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl?
The Eagles are trying to get their hopes alive. And
The Eagles are trying to keep their hope
All right. Love you.
hopes alive. That's what he just said. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I think the conversation is more of if you're watching porn, a certain type of porn, and then you have a wife that is not into, does not want to have the same type of sex that you're watching for porn. If the fantasy is so extreme, can you still enjoy it?
Right.
And I think that that's where like the desensitization conversation is from, because if the porn is so aggressive, but your wife does not enjoy porn, does not enjoy sex the same way, is the man actually enjoying it, or is he unable to enjoy it because the fantasy is so extreme?
So I totally understand, and I agree. Do you think that? Yeah, it is. Do you think that
That's what the show is.
those men that are enjoying or watching that, do you think before porn was readily available on the internet, they would have gone down that, not not that actual route, but do you think there'd have been find ways to have been desensitized elsewhere? Like women reading Mills and Boone and thinking about some sailor called, I don't know, fucking Sinbad.
I know the
like,
romance novels.
She's got that in her head. She walks in and sees Big Dave laying there with his gut hanging out and his fucking 5-inch penis. Is she going to be desensitized to him?
Is this the conversation, the debate you were having in the chat? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Good. Yeah, that's fine.
But I'm Fabio, definitely. But I'm open to like the conversation, because I don't know clearly how generally as a group women think. I only know the women in my life, women.
Well, do you
the women in my life, I've only known them, so I don't know.
Have you ever fantasized while having sex? Have you ever fantasized about like being somewhere else other than with your partner?
Not that I
don't
know
need to. No, I don't need to.
I think that's the healthier response. Like if you have to fantasize about somewhere else
or choosing porn over your wife.
Right. Yeah, Olivia. Yeah.
If you start going down that route, then you have an issue.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was her point about like if you've, and even Kenneth's point, like if you're a woman and you've read too many romance novels or watched too many soap operas and you have this like fantasy of what life and relationships and sex should be, and then you don't have it in your own relationship, you're gonna fantasize about that instead of.
I think it just comes down to communication, though, doesn't it? Like if you enjoy watching porn, tell your wife, as long as your wife knows, and she might want to watch it with you, or your partner might want to watch it. You might find that both of you are watching it separately, and you think, do you know what? Fuck it, we found a common go around. And then when she says, "Yeah, I want to watch this certain type," and you're like, "Oh dear."
Like I don't know. I can't tell you a woman that I know, and maybe the chat will divulge what they think, but I don't know a woman that watches like will go to Pornhub. Like, so women who watch softcore, like the way that Birch called Outlander, like when it gets regular and it's not weird in the first whatever, but when it gets regular, it's kind of softcore porn, or like the L Word for us. For lesbians, that was kind of softcore.
Yeah, that was our porn.
and yeah, you could watch that together. You get hot, and then you go into the bedroom, but you're not like, it's not part of your sexual ritual. It was just like, hey babe, I watched the L Word today. I'm feeling frisky. Let's go.
I guess like when you're in a relationship, you've got to be in it together with all of that, and it's just about communication. Just talk to each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of people's problems in life. Just talk, discuss shit, talk to each other. You got an issue, just fucking talk about it. Don't harbor those feelings and then go off elsewhere and have to do that. It just comes down to being able to talk to each other. And if you can't do that, then you might have a bigger issue than you think you have.
But isn't that what every and we can move on to all of your reels after this, but
no, I have a question.
Okay, never mind, you can't because the wife said so. Isn't that what most movies are premised on? That it's like the couple doesn't tell each other things. They keep things from each other to be like, I'm protecting you from this, and it never ends up well ever. Anytime they do it,
no.
It's like even Dexter, like just tell them that you're a serial killer, let them love you anyway, and then you move on with the storyline. But no show ever does that. No show ever shows the two main love interests having honest conversations. So I just don't think kids know how to do that.
I'll reel it back to Hog Talk. Something that really fucking annoys me, right, is in films when there's a couple going at it, like a heterosexual couple, and then they finish and the bloke just fucking rolls off her. I'm like, no, you have to come out first and then roll off. They just go boom and roll off. I'm like,
Logistics.
have you ever tried that? No, you will snap something and you will really hurt yourself.
Have you ever finished and you just had to lay there for a while and not come out of her right away?
All the time.
Like you're too sensitive?
I've never just like lay down and just
Stay
like
there?
lay on top.
Really? Nothing?
But yeah, I'm not.
Not just like,
Never done
no.
that. Yeah.
Oh,
But
man.
like,
okay.
not like
Right,
just
just lay on the
pancakes
bed.
and just like falling asleep for a
They
couple
pull
of minutes.
out.
No,
They
no.
pull out
I mean,
first,
but like,
honey.
hey, we're both sensitive right now because I heard. Really, you could just pull out. That's it. It's like, hey, it's almost like a car wash.
Yeah.
No, for me, like I'm talking generally. Obviously, there's like differences every time, but like it's not like a splooge and then immediately vacate. It's like I feel like there's some kind of rapport you have to build, and you can't just go, there we go, and then off you get, and then go and make a cup of tea. It's like,
Hey,
there's
what
a
happens if
ritual
you
there.
guys finish and she hasn't finished yet?
I'll let you know when it happens.
Wham bam, thank you, man.
Never happens.
Never happens.
Never happens.
Not well. I
But we've
mean,
got a
you
good
were,
relationship.
well, I'm like, no, I'm talking about like when you were a kid. Like,
Yeah. I'll be honest.
John's like, nope.
yeah, I was like, no, I'm that good, bitch. Like, shut up.
Like,
I was a
think-
virgin until I met Haley.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I wasn't really that.
Well,
I was like-
I'm just joking.
I think like obviously early when you're a virgin, you're a kid, and you're not thinking about that kind of thing. You're not really in you're not in an adult relationship with people if you're in your teens. But like I think, and this comes back to what I said earlier about not enjoying certain things. I think if you're a fan of actually giving like certain things, you'll prioritize that, and then you'll just sort yourself out after. Sometimes it depends on the mood and the night, doesn't it? And Valentine's Day,
I mean,
is there a special routine for Valentine's Day? I don't know.
All right, go ahead, babe, because I have like 87 questions about penises now. So might as well get it in before I do.
well, it's still
Pause.
about penises and vaginas, so we're still on topic. So obviously when you first get into a relationship, it's lustful from both people. It's just lust, it's exciting, it's fun, and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And then the longer that you're with somebody, for women, and I can attest for her and I, is that the more growth we go through and the more connection we have is because it's emotional. We've been through a lot of stuff together emotionally. And so the more emotionally invested that her and I are, obviously sex has followed that, and sex continues to be good. So there isn't this roommate kind of feeling. Do you as men, so do you lose the lust, or do you also feel like that because you're so emotionally connected to your wives that has something to do with you guys still being as connected sexually? Or do you feel like for men it is just the lust of sex?
I get just as excited visually with Haley than what I did 15 years ago when we first met, but I find something very, very attractive about her just being with our son, like just being silly, like, and I'll take videos of her and like send her, and she's like, "Oh, that's fucking awful," but I'm like, "Nah, I love it," if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's not that I think her and my kid playing is sexy, but it makes me more
No.
like,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Just wanted to clarify.
Make it clear.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for me personally, like, it evolves, it changes, it ebbs and flows. Certain things, certain times of your life, you go in and out of things, so to speak.
Literally.
But again, as long as you talk, as long as you communicate, and one of the for me personally, I'm going to say it slightly differently than Jon did. My wife as a mum is like top tier attraction. Like I'll watch her throughout the day being mum to my kids, and there's just something in here that's like chimp mode, and it's like click, and it's like that's what I want. And then they go to bed, and then it's like you spend a couple of hours schmoozing, and then the fun begins. Which is why it's important to have time alone as a couple. Like when you have kids, people forget that
you don't
as a
want
big
to
deal.
be parents. Yeah.
Well, I think that's how women are when they see their husbands being fathers and, you know, playing roughhousing, like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's the same thing. That's the same attraction. Just the attraction. Like Mason, is it more common than not for couples to watch porn? And then Kenneth brought up, I think it's a generational thing. And I think it is. I think as you get older, like it's maybe you need porn when you're younger, but if it's as you get older, if it's a healthy relationship and a healthy communication, like you guys said, I just don't think you need porn anymore. Like it's not a thing to get to be like ready to be in the mood to be with your wife. Like that's not I don't right.
No, it's not like a warm up.
Right.
It's more like gymnastics grips. Like they're in your kit bag. If you want it, they're there. But ideally you don't have to use them, or a weights belt. It's like, well, okay.
Colleen and I have watched porn together and laughed at it and been like, that can't be real. Like that.
What kind of porn?
Heterosexual porn.
Oh, that's probably why you laughed.
I was just like, that can't actually be what they do. Like how do you carry that on for no wonder it's only 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever it is. Like I mean, you would have to be the fittest dude on earth to be able to keep that going for 20, 30 minutes.
Don't they have a pill?
Ask PK. He's a 5-hour man.
Oh. No.
When he comes back from, I don't know where he's in fucking Zimbabwe or something.
You can't be Didn't Caleb just say something today about how when he got home from being deployed and he had a vacation with his wife for a month, that the tip of his dick was bruised because they couldn't stop? Does that actually happen?
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and assume, because I'm assuming I'm the only one with a fucking foreskin in this whole fucking Yeah, Jon can speak for Caleb.
I snapped mine.
You snapped yours?
Well, the banjo string I snapped.
Oh, okay.
Jake still has his.
Never bruised. Oh, because you have a foreskin.
Mason's comment. That's a fucking belter.
Hey, I'm trying to help.
PK would need oxygen masks.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, I think when there's more, well, I don't know. I can only speak. Jon's the perfect person to ask this because he's been both. He's had both.
Oh, you're a mixed kid. Let's go. Mixed kid.
Yeah.
Well, I lived 30 years with a foreskin, and then the last 34 years with, and I've been 4 years without.
How's that working out for you? Have you ever bruised the tip of your penis?
I've never bruised the tip of it.
Okay. I was like, how do you do that? I thought you got to work hard. That's what I thought when Caleb said it. Hard pause.
Unless he pulled out and then tried to go back in too hard and hit that area, but it's like not quite anything but bone. Like I've done that, and that's like, that makes your balls shrink up into your stomach.
Does that ruin the whole mood? Are you like done if that happens?
So there's this thing that you do if you get like, sometimes you'll feel like a cable in your nutsack, or something's not quite right. You've been sat on the rower and something's not quite right, and you just make sure that they're both there. and the instant you feel both there, all the dread's just gone. So it's like a click and you're back in the room. And there's the same thing about your willy. If you do what Jon just said, if you stab and it just goes bang, like flat into a butt, like the pubic bone,
just grab with
you
both
go,
arms.
and you just make sure it's still straight and it's still not broken. And then back in the room, in.
Every man in the chat will know the feeling that I'm just about to talk about, but I made a group of guys burst out laughing yesterday. They weren't with me and my friend, but it was just after I got off the call with Jake. I was lying on the floor in the conference center and I coughed that hard that but I hurt my nutsack. Like I thought I'd exploded a nut. And I was actually like lying on the floor going like, "Ah, fucking hell." And then Neil says, "What happened?" And I goes, "I feel like I burst a nut." And a group of lads turned around and started laughing, but all their girlfriends looked disgusted. And then the guy was trying to explain to his girlfriend, like, "Oh no, we like that's a thing." And like, I was like, because I was just speaking loud, being typical Scottish guy. But yeah, you cough that loud that you hurt your nut. It feels like it like burst.
Well, I think I saw something, a reel or something, and this guy was explaining that he actually slept wrong and one of his nuts lost complete circulation.
Oh
so he had to have surgery to.
Here, I went to the hospital because I've had testicle torsion. Like your nut, your ball turns like twists round and it traps. Yeah. Oh, I've been to the hospital for that.
Hold on, wait. No, not on the Sabbath. I'm out. Grant, no testicle torsion ever? Nothing? No ball comments you want to make? Come on, bro.
He's Mason, he's sorted the cords out.
He's got to go and sort the top of his staircase out now.
Kippen, Grant, they are sorted.
Testicle torsion's no joke. By the
no,
way.
so here's one that.
Wait, you had to go to the hospital?
I
get them untwisted?
Kenneth, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm not trying to. I'm sorry.
It can require surgery, but it can go back without.
Say again. Sorry.
Some will require surgery, but you can get it to go. Like you can basically untwist it. I've untwisted mine myself tons of times.
But yeah, so this guy, I guess, twisted it so bad he had to go get surgery, and he like lost one of his testicles. It wasn't supposed to produce sperm anymore, so he really thought he couldn't get anybody pregnant, and he ended up getting somebody pregnant.
Oh no!
One nut can still get someone to take.
Yeah, dizzy.
That guy sounds like a fucking idiot.
Yeah. So. I know Chris, talking of Chris, he's on here. I mentioned this ages ago, and it's funny because Chris specifically knew exactly what I was talking about. And there's this point, and I don't know if it's a certain age because they've gone sort of more gravity's taken effect, and they get a little bit more.
I always love his hand gesture.
Right, so.
I feel like if you can't see the video, it doesn't.
Hey, Birch, would Jake make a great teacher with his hand gestures? It does help though. It does. The hand gestures help.
The visual.
Yeah. So they've come down a little bit further than normal. Like when you're 20 to 30, they're probably pretty peachy, like a pouch, just nice and warm. And then the skin gets softer, they grow a little, and it gets a little bit more saggy. So that's why old boys wear briefs, not boxers, because it's to keep them from knocking around. I've been wearing them for 5 years now, just for ease. And there's a point where, let's say, for example, you are on your back being ridden, okay, by a male, and you have this feeling that something's not quite right.
Did you say you're on your back being ridden by a male?
Are you
a female?
A female.
Okay, I was like, are we supposed to imagine?
I would imagine you with your legs up in the air. Just
my mind went.
Holding on to his feet, right, or the ankles.
Well,
All right. Okay, got it.
Either. I don't think it matters.
You're
Anyway,
on your back, female.
you're on your
Got
back.
it. Yep.
And that your partner's on top of you. Something doesn't feel quite right down there. And then you look down and there's a bulge underneath your sort of pube hairs, and you realize one of your balls has sort of gone up from the bag upward towards your sort of belly button up into the skin.
I've never had that.
And you have to but do you stop and say something, or do you quickly get your thumb and just ride it down your pubic bone and pop it back in the bag?
I've honestly never had that. I think my nutsack's so tightly contained.
I think you have to do the
They twist in the
thing
sock,
now.
but they're not escaping.
Your ego is not going to allow you to stop, right? You're going to have to do the thumb thing. But then does she say something? Can she tell if you do that?
You've got to push
well,
it
this
back
is the
down
thing.
if that
You've got to
happens.
be like fucking James Bond with it. You've got to kind of because things are going up and down. You just sort of have to just sort of nearly get there, and then as soon as you feel there's a split second, you go pop, and it's back in. Like, here we go, back in. Yeah. But I remember talking about that, and Chris knew exactly what I was on about. So I was like, "Oh, good," because sometimes you're worried. Sometimes you're worried that it's only
This is
you.
some
this
Black
stuff.
Mirror shit.
Because the worst thing that could happen is that you
Could they pop it?
arrive when it's up there. Because I don't know what would happen.
Oh, they could
No,
arrive.
if you arrive
Yeah.
when it's up there, I don't know what would happen. Because
Flying out.
when you ejaculate, your testicles somewhat like sort of go up a little bit and like move a little bit, throb, some might say. But if it's up here,
We need a size
I'm sort of
system.
worried about what would happen. So you've got to get rid of it. You've got to get it, pop it back in the bag.
Oh my God, this is amazing.
wish the
I
dick
apologize.
doctor
I
was
always
on.
told. Go ahead, Jan. Sorry.
I wish the dick doctor was on. What would happen?
Re-enter. So like, like fix it and then go back in. Is that what you're saying?
Wormhole.
Oh God.
Oh man,
That was
that was so funny.
and also so informative as it was funny. Sounds like something that has happened in Noodles. Probably everything's happened in Noodles.
Yeah, Noodles is great. Noodles gave our show a shout out.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, did he? That's fire.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
he was like flexing and everything.
Great.
Yeah, I gotta hit him up. I haven't hit him up in a minute. I gotta call him and see if he wants to come on the show with us, and you guys can get him on the show with you. Shit, he loves you guys, so
He's so fun.
Don't you live near? Where do you live in the New York? So how far is New York from you? For you?
I'm in New York, but I'm on Long
You
Island.
could get him in.
He's in
get him in
Manhattan.
studio.
Yeah, you can meet up.
Get him in the studio.
No,
That would be
bringing
awful.
anybody to my house. What are you
should
talking
go-
about? No.
You should
Go
go
do a
to his
ride
house.
around. Get in his
Oh,
car.
I go. Oh, yeah, I go get.
He
Get in his
lives
car
with
with
a
him.
guy. He
No, you
lives
wouldn't.
with a guy called. What's his name, Jake? Is it White
Mike.
John?
Oh yeah, Big Mike or something, isn't it? I'm sure.
No,
Big
it's-
Mike
it's
is
Wild-
Michelle.
Oh
No, it's
I don't
Wild
know.
John. I think it's like, or just like Johnny Quacks or something like that. That he lived. with.
Yeah. Weird fella. Just sits
His
playing
lives
guitar
are-
in his
his
room all
lives are
day.
fun.
And just like you feel weird saying somebody come on your show, I feel weird saying I have a studio. I don't. I have a room in my house there's no studio. It's not a studio.
Do you have a Jeffrey Dahmer bed like me?
Oh yeah, did someone call that the casting couch? Is
Yeah.
that the casting couch
Well-
for your show?
Ord didn't like this.
Oh, you've taken the. I know. I was going to say you've taken the duvet off.
So
Oh,
I'm taking it off now.
the duvet.
I'll be honest,
Okay.
this last sort of 2 weeks.
If
has
you're
been
a
bit
dude
of
and you use the
whirlwind.
word duvet, is that gay?
What
Hey.
do you call it?
We don't call
Sheets.
them anything. Fucking,
A
it's a comforter. It's a
Is that
blanket.
what you call it? It's
Yeah.
duvet.
Duvet.
Fuck you.
It's a duvet, isn't it?
Fuck you,
Gay.
duvet.
So
Isn't
gay.
it? What do you call it, Jake?
A duvet. Yeah.
Yeah, it's what it's called, isn't it?
Gay.
Sheets, duvet. What do you call it? What do you call the thing you lay your head down on?
A pillow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pillow and duvet.
Okay.
A duvet is a pillow? What?
No.
No, duvet's
Pillow and a
Duvet's a
duvet.
blanket.
No,
Okay.
a blanket. A duvet has like a cover over it.
Yeah, it's a okay. Whatever. Gay.
Yeah. A
It would
blanket,
have a duvet cover on it.
like singular.
So is
Like
the
you-
cover for your blanket? Is that what you're telling me?
No, so
Or
we would
cover
call
for
a
your bed?
blanket. You know, like if you're laying on the sofa,
Yeah.
you'd put a blanket over you if you're cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like one layer, thin
Mhm.
blanket thing.
Yeah.
But the covers on our beds, we would call duvet, a duvet cover.
And they come
So
in
it's like
different
a
forms.
comforter. It's like what we call a comforter. It's thicker.
Yeah.
Pause.
Yeah.
But like a bed, the whole bed's covered in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we call that a duvet.
Gay.
Duvet.
We've got fucking memory foam.
Memory foam. That's true.
We've got all that gay shit.
Water beds. There's the thing.
Oh, that was a
Oh.
long time ago.
I
Have
used
you
to always
ever
want
had-
a waterbed, but now I would hate that idea.
Have you
Mm,
ever had sex on a waterbed?
Oh god.
No.
No.
My
In
uncle
water?
had one.
Who did?
My uncle had one.
A waterbed?
Yeah.
Jake snapped somebody off on a waterbed.
uh,
Oh my god, was that the weird uncle with the waterbed?
again, like peeping behind the curtain here, that's just a character that I put that in certain chats and people actually like go, oh my god, was that, like they'll say like, was that real? Well, I'm so sorry. I'm like, God, then just making it up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, need traction. Yeah, I remember my sister told a story one time that her boyfriend at the time had sex with everything with nothing on except for track shoes. Like he had legit track shoes on so that he like his feet wouldn't slip. That's what I think about when I hear traction.
Do lesbians wear socks in bed?
No.
No.
Right. Okay.
Do straight men wear socks in
Straight
bed?
men, I don't wear socks in bed.
I don't wear anything,
Yeah, good.
but
Not good. You do whatever you want.
God was like, good.
Yeah, good. Just how I like it.
Okay, not straight men. Okay, cool. Do you
No.
want to? Which ones? Do you know which reels?
Right.
You gave me a ton of reels, so
there's a couple that I really liked.
okay.
Hang on.
I
I'm
just
gonna
sent
stop
you-
making reels, by the way.
Oh, I can't wait to see it.
You're going to stop
Um,
making them.
Yeah, because like I'm the only one that finds them funny.
Haley asked me, she's like,
Um,
is this your Instagram page? I was like, no, it's not. She doesn't get
But
them.
again, bear in mind, I haven't looked at like Instagram reels and stuff like this for a while. So these might be like ones that you've seen 1,000 times before.
No, I guarantee you, any reel that you sent me, I have never seen and has never been in my algorithm.
So
What about mine?
the bear one, I find really fucking funny because it's something that I would love to do now.
Okay.
I think it's the first one.
I don't think
Uh,
I've seen that.
Them have kids like Queen.
Yeah,
Who-
yeah.
That one.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Inside of Jake's mind. Here we go.
Brilliant.
I don't even.
There's no swearing or anything.
No,
Here we
I don't care. We just
No,
swear
I
this
can-
whole.
How was school today? Hello?
No.
I'm just a bear driving.
Daddy, is that?
Nope, I'm a bear. You're in my world now. You want to go home? You are home in my bear cave. Down. How was school today?
I really like that.
Are you actually gonna do that to your kid? Because that
Yeah, I'll have to figure out how to get like a filter thing like that. But yeah, I'll try it. I mean, I really like all of them, but I'm trying to figure out which one.
We can just go down the list.
Yeah. They're all.
I've not the ones I've sent you. I've not sent to Jake because I wanted him to see them on here.
Okay.
So
Right,
open up mine and go to the one with the guy's got the girl up above his head, the ginger-haired lassie.
Oh Jesus, I did see that. Hold on.
Jake will love this one. You have to have the sound on though.
Yes, sir. Hold on. Oh, she. Oh God. Okay, here we go. Sound on.
Listen to the noise, but you have to listen to the noise that the guy makes when he does the thing.
Yeah.
With the candy cane part.
Oh,
man. Oh
Good.
my God. All
That's
right.
a good one. I like that one.
The one above it's really good as well. And it goes back to the porn thing.
All right. Oh God, this is gonna sound terrible. I'll give Jan one more, and then I'll give one to Jake.
We'll go back and forth.
Jesus Christ.
There are times when I
Oh my, who said Corey Leonard sent me one like that, and I wrote him back, and I would write you back the same way. That is my wife. Like, she's like, oh, go to bed. Oh no, scroll. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think he's scrolling though.
He's not
No,
scrolling.
he's not scrolling.
He's got one of those
301.
under the covers.
301.
Hopefully that's not what Colleen's doing at 3 o'clock in the morning.
I mean, sometimes you don't know.
The Oppenheimer one I found it just tickled me, and I don't know if anyone's gonna like that. So if you go to the picture of the black guy on the front one, there's two I like. Oh,
You got time, dude. These things are only like 30 seconds. I'm gonna need you. I'll
if
need
you
you to
do the one with the black guy first.
Yeah, gotcha. I always like equal opportunity.
They not like us. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
Cat's funeral.
They not like us.
Good.
I don't even know where to go with that one.
It
Speaking of
makes sense.
cats, I sent you a good cat one.
Oh no. I don't know if it's the right audience though for the there's one with me choosing an exercise for leg day. It really, really resonates with me, but I don't know if anyone else is going to find it funny. So it's
Nah, play it.
I'm
play it. Go for that one. Yeah, fuck
One
it. Go
underneath.
for that one.
Yeah, play
That's
it.
my
One right
choice.
underneath.
That
This
one.
thing,
That
like
one.
Russ said.
A
Yeah.
little bit lonely when
You never coming round. Turn around. Every now and then I get a little bit tired. Listen to the sound of my keys.
turn
Wait.
around.
Every now and then I get a little bit nervous that the best of all the years have come by.
Turn around. Every now and then I get a little bit terrified, and then I see the look in your eyes.
Turn around, by side.
Wait.
Every now and then I fall apart.
And I need you now tonight. And I need you now forever. And if you only hold me tight, we'll be
Yes.
holding on for.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Good.
Oh,
Excellent.
what does Mason say over here? Because I wanted to respond to this too, the one that you showed before. No other race would do that nonsense. Yeah, like who else makes that comment? None. It really
Some races
is.
eat them.
Whatever. I'll ask Jeremy tomorrow when he comes on. Jeremy's coming
Yeah.
on tomorrow, so I'll ask him all the black questions tomorrow. It's fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's white, is he not?
He speaks for all African Americans. So
I thought Jeremy was white.
is he half? I didn't know. I don't know.
No. Maybe
He
it's
went
half,
on Stefan's show and he's like, my black ass is going on Glinton things tomorrow. So I just assumed.
Maybe he's black then. You go,
Yeah.
oh, he's putting the power up. There we go. He's
There we
putting the
go.
yellow fist up.
Oh, before we go, see, I know I'm getting like, I don't even notice the time anymore because my camera doesn't shut off anymore because my
She fixed
brother fixed my camera for me. So now I don't even have to like be nervous about if my camera's gonna shut off. But what did you guys think about the Elon Musk show my heart or give my heart salute that he did?
Like,
I talk about carts with dildos attached to their belly. It's not Elon Musk throwing out.
No.
Not a
Hey, does it ever bother you, Jan, when they like call him autistic? Like he did that because he was autistic? For a second, it bothered us.
No, it doesn't bother me that they've said that. He said he's autistic, is he not?
I don't know. I've never heard him say it. I've never seen a clip
Or
of him saying it.
is that just what people say?
I think that's
I
just what
thought that
people.
he did.
chat.
Hey, fine. Oh God, you like a
We don't be coming
freaking.
in.
Asperger's.
It's because we were speaking about him.
Noodles, what's up, dude? I'm Italian. I found out today that I'm not white, according to my 23-year-old girlfriend. Is that true? Yes, that's true. If you're Italian, if you're Asian,
Is that
Whites.
23 and me or 23-year-old girlfriend?
Yes, 23-year-old girlfriend, Cassandra.
Is Cassandra 23, David? Yeah, Elon, I would to be. If you've ever heard him talk, he's very pure logical, isn't he? Like
Yeah.
he very rarely gives off when he gives off emotional speeches and stuff. Some of the time, it doesn't seem naturally. It seems like it's rehearsed.
yeah.
A lot of the time, but he's out of it. He's the richest man in the fucking world, so who care? He doesn't care. But I mean, he like you know that Jewish lady that I said that I PT.
Yeah.
I spoke to her this morning, and she was laughing, and she was saying, "Of course, it's not a fucking Nazi salute. Like no one in their right mind would even think that." And then she said, "Did you see the posts that they've put about all the Democrats over the last 5 years doing the same fucking thing?"
Yeah.
It's like it's ridiculous. It's a silly thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was blown out of proportion. Yeah, Kenneth, all socially awkward people are autistic now. Yeah, I know. It's kind of frustrating. It's in some ways, and like it doesn't excuse bad behavior. You know, like we would never let our kid get away with like having bad behavior or whatever because he's autistic. Like it's we still have to try to teach him, whether he remembers it like 30
Or we
minutes
have
from
to-
now
yeah.
or like, you know what I mean? It's
We have to teach him more times. We have to repeat more times. We have to correct more times. Like that's what we have to do. And there was this something in school. He was supposed to bring home like his homework every day, and we're supposed to sign a sheet and whatever. And if you did all of that all week, then you get a reward for that. Well, there was one day that he didn't bring his homework home. So he got X's and whatever, but the teacher still gave him a prize. I'm like, do I want my kid to be upset? No, because G has a very hard time regulating his emotions. Like he completely shuts down, cries and just like completely cannot regulate himself. So do I want to put him in a situation where he's going to have emotions like that? No. However, he needs to learn that if rules are rules, then you get rewarded for the rules that were given. So I was a little bit like upset with the teachers, because if you're going to say that he needs to bring his stuff home and he needs to do it in order to get this, then he didn't do it. Why are you rewarding him for what he didn't do? Instead of using that opportunity to have a conversation with him and work through the emotions that he would have had at that time, you know?
Yeah. It's being cruel to be kind, because at the end of the day, it's going to make his life easier further down the line. Like if he didn't get it, he might have that meltdown and shut down emotionally, but later on down the line, he's going to be so much better off for it.
Yeah, it happened today. We went to, babe, I didn't tell you this, but we went to Panera, his favorite place to go eat. And usually he gets like a frosted cookie. Well, right in front of him, like a little girl in front of him took the last cookie, like in front of his face. He saw it happen. He looked at me and that was it. The emotions just started. And I thought, okay, well, this is another moment that we're just going to have to work with him through it and be like, I just said, but sometimes that happens. They only make certain kinds, a certain amount. If you wanted something else, you could, no. And he's crying and he's like in my back and whatever. And again, the gestures of the staff wanting to be kind went to the back, got him a cookie, made him an extra large smoothie, like did everything to like make it better. And I wasn't mad at them for doing that, but it kind of took away the teachable moment that I could have had with him, and to navigate that, because it would have been prolonged. It would have still happened in the car. We still would have talked about it. It still would have happened when we got home, and it would have given us more of a teachable moment, but the staff didn't want to see him upset. So they made like unrealistic accommodations for him, I think is like the best way to put it. So
whereas
I've been
as an adult, if he was crying there, they would be like, here, get the fuck out of here.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the difference between, were they being nice and you wanted to be kind? Do you think they were being?
That is the difference. It's they're being nice, but they're prolonging it and they're making it worse further down the line. Whereas being a little bit cruel now, is being kind for his future. Yeah.
Because as an adult, they're just going to be like, "Yo, we don't have any more," and you have to be able to just, okay, they don't have any more. Let me pick something else, or I'm going to move along.
Yeah.
Instead of being able to teach him that, like, hey, today they don't have any more. Let's move it down the line. You know what I mean? And then another day we would have went in there and they would have had them and he would have been fine. And then it's just, but teaching him how to navigate that, I know they mean well, but he's got to go through real life experience. So
we do that for him.
Yeah. Or he's going to have to decide if he really wants a cookie, that maybe it's time to try another cookie, because he's a very picky eater too. He likes things exactly how they are. So it's like, if he wants to have a cookie that day and that cookie's not available, will he take that next step, that uncomfortable step of trying something different, which could be cool too. Also, right now he's 7, and how he is completely dysregulated is he cries, and he has a very, not an explosive tantrum, but like an uncontrollable crying. Like he cannot stop crying. He gets very, very emotional. He will eventually go through puberty. And if we don't talk about it and address it now and work through the conversations of, hey, but I get that you're upset. Like, I get that you're upset, but sometimes they just don't have
what
you want. But when he goes through puberty and more emotions are coming and more hormones are coming,
I was going to say, when the testosterone comes,
it could turn explosive, as in bigger outbursts or potentially self-harming outbursts. So he's
also going to be a bit more mature, and he's going to be able to understand and conceptualize things a lot better too. Adam's 11 now. He's going through puberty. Adam, I don't even know like the correct term. It's probably, you know, more on the spectrum, you know, like like his communication, his understanding of things, you know, is getting much better. But the likes of back in October, he ended up, obviously, remember, he was hospitalized with pneumonia because he will not take oral medication like ever. So his fever got to the point where he was ill for like a month, and no matter what you did, he wouldn't take it because he didn't understand that you're trying to make him better. Whereas he was ill at the start of this week, temperature of 40 degrees, that's a fever. What would be like over 100 for you guys? And I thought, like, oh, here we go again. He's going to end up hospitalized. But we managed to reason with him. Now he's got a bit more. He's a bit more mature. He's understanding, and he's got that experience of being hospitalized, and he was able to kind of weigh up the pros and cons of either swallowing the 5 mils of the medicine a few times a day over being
go back to the
in the hospital and having to have cannulas in, and you know, going through that kind of traumatic experience. So and he was able to kind of like weigh it up in his mind. It took him a while. It still took us, you know, about an hour each time to get him to actually, like, you know, take the medication, but he did it, and there we go. By Thursday, Friday, he's back to normal. Whereas it was like 2 months of him being ill the last time.
Right.
So like, just keep at it, because he will get that, you know, understanding. And
it's important. It's important, and you know, that's something that we advocate a lot for him, is that his diagnosis is information, but please don't use it as an excuse, and please don't use it as a crutch. Like, it is information for you. It's information for us. So I don't bring up his autism until I feel like it's an informative conversation to be had in the situation. I allow him to go into, like, jujitsu, for instance. I had a conversation with his coach about him being autistic for his safety. I'm like, I just need you to be aware that you're going to need to explain things to him. You're going to have to pay attention to him a little bit more. And really, when you're starting to get more advanced, you have to explain to him, because for him right now, it's fun. They're rolling around, they're just whatever. But if you're trying to teach him something, he is that kid that you need to be on, like, right on top of, especially when they're trying to do all the advanced stuff where he almost got choked out twice because he didn't understand. He's getting scared and he wants them to let go. But these advanced kids know that they don't let go until someone taps. So there was that disconnection, and I had those multiple conversations. But him going and doing other things, I don't bring up his diagnosis unless I feel it's going to be teachable conversation, versus me saying, so my son is autistic, and then they look at him differently and then they treat him differently. So it really depends on where we go, the situation that we're in, the task that's being asked, whether or not we actually have those conversations. But it's important for us. I think of it in terms of, like, Garrett used to elope, which means he used to run. He used to be a runner. And I'm like, I want to take my kid out for a walk. Garrett would try to run away from me. And I had to teach him that he had to stay with me and for his safety. And I kind of look at the world like that. Like, I would do a disservice to him if I didn't teach him the safety of how to walk on a sidewalk, and the safety of being able to cross the street, and the safety of being to, like, put your seatbelt on. So I kind of look at the world like that. So when we ask other people that work with our son, please understand that it is information, but don't use it as an excuse to not correct inappropriate behavior, to not correct and set consequences and follow through with consequences. Because if you're going to give him the support of the services that are going to help him navigate those feelings, that's what you guys are there for. So, but
last words, want to pump your show again?
Yeah. When's your next show?
Yeah.
Well, we might have a guest on Sunday.
Oh yeah, we do. Yeah.
Fire.
Coming on.
Awesome.
We just got to finalize that and organize it, but that would be good. But we haven't programmed it in or anything like that. Well, bearing in mind, like all this, like Jon's obviously infinitely better on social media than I am, but in terms of like YouTube, this is all like brand spanking new, the back end of it all and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah, man,
so
it's fun, right? Are you like?
Yes, it's addictive.
Yeah.
Katie's away. My wife's away at Miami for Wodapalooza.
So you have all the time in the world to just.
Oh man, like this is what it's like being single. I'm like just on YouTube all day. But yeah, I've got both the kids obviously to myself. So when I'm done, I put them down. But yeah,
Mason, go subscribe. And I really did like your last comment too. That's the conditioning comment. That's absolutely but yeah, go subscribe to Yake and John. Now I'm just gonna switch the words.
We can say who's coming on, can we not? Or no?
Yeah, go on then. Yeah.
We've got Athena coming on Sunday to have a conversation with us.
Okay, let's go. It's been a while since we've.
Yeah, but we speak to Athena quite a lot in WhatsApp.
Oh, that's cool.
So we haven't really seen. She hasn't been on any show. She's sort of done her own thing for a little while and been sort of doing her thing and grinding.
Yeah, she looks great.
With the last sort of week or so with us doing this our thing, we were like, well, who else would we want to talk to that we talk to every other few days on WhatsApp? It's like, well, might as well ask Athena, and she would really want to do it. So, and also the whole point in our show is that we just want to be different from all the other sort of CrossFit. You're obviously part of the CrossFit one. We talked about this a million times with you two, but the beauty of what my hands, I know I can't help it. The beauty of what you guys do.
Just have to prove that they're not down your pants.
She made
a hog joke. She made a hog joke.
There we go.
You're like Ricky Bobby Dick when you start speaking, the hands just come up.
Yeah.
So now every time I say hand check, everybody's hands go up.
What you guys do is you obviously CrossFit's sort of really central, but you do a lot of shit other than that, and you talk about other stuff, and you get people on that are different from the other shows get on, and we want to position ourselves similar-ish to that, but using our kind of knowledge on the industry, the fitness industry, health industry, sport industry. Like Jon and I coach a lot more than just CrossFit, and we do a lot more than CrossFit. The sport isn't central to what we think of as functional fitness and CrossFit. So we want to explore what the affiliates do, coaching, styling, different sports, different techniques, and people from the industry. Think of Athena, she's in our industry, but she gets completely overlooked as a coach and as an individual because she's not an elite sports person. So we want people that have got all this knowledge and experience, and just to draw from it. Heidi's an example the other day.
Yeah, that was a great one. That was an awesome podcast.
But that's what that's basically me and Jon are just doing it because we fucking want to talk to loads of people.
Yeah. It's fun, right? It kind of doesn't matter how many views you get or don't get. It's just people that you want to
people that that we want to speak to.
Right.
I don't care. Yeah.
Being able to talk to you guys is awesome.
I like interacting with the chat, but when we have guests on, I don't care if there's anyone in the chat or not. We'll still interact with the chat, but I want to give people I've found a few cool people on Instagram that don't even have a big following, but they've done some pretty
awesome
cool
shit.
things.
Yeah.
So they're completely unknown, but they've got cool stories to tell.
Yeah.
None of them have messaged us back yet, mind you, but
no, it'll be fun. You guys are gonna have a great time. I can't wait to watch. I know it's gonna be good. I've seen the first ones, and they're pretty fire. They're a good time with you guys. It's always a good time with you guys. So I'm excited to watch.
Yeah.
And just don't let me down on this show. I need you guys once a month just to
we're still coming on every single that. We said that anyway.
Don't forget us.
We don't want our thing just to be hog talk.
Yeah. I know. I'm sorry. I had to do adult conversation just because there were too many.
No, I mean, we don't want outside the box to be just
hog talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
we talked.
we don't want this shit on our channel.
All right, guys.
We welcome this on our channel. All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
All of our favorites. Thanks for hanging out with us.
See you
We
tomorrow
appreciate
with,
you. We love you.
with Jeremy.
Yeah. And
Oh,
come
yeah.
on for Jeremy because that's going to be all the. I have all the questions for that.
I'll be
All
in
right,
the
guys.
chat.
Bye.
Thanks.
I'm going to be talking shit to him in the chat tomorrow.